You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Priyanka Nayak, a show to help professional moms in survival mode to take hold of their lives and thrive. If you're ready to take powerful action to create your best life, then this is the show for you. I'm your host, Dr. Priyanka Nayak, board-certified internal medicine physician and certified life coach. Now let's get to it and dive in. You are listening to the Empowering Working Moms podcast, episode number 31. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you are keeping warm, especially if you are living in the northern part of America like I am. I'm on the East Coast, Northeast, and this week I had to pull out my own winter coat along with my children's. It's not my favorite time of the year, but I try to make sure I get to the South and hit some sunshine as much as is possible. I want to start out by sharing a recent client breakthrough. A client of mine who had tried all of the things. I'm sure you can relate: podcasts, meditation, TED Talks, therapy. She came to me wanting to enjoy her life, right? Because we all just want to enjoy our lives. But she felt so miserable day to day, even though she felt that she should not, because she has a beautiful family. She likes her job. Through the work we've done together, she is now able to enjoy the important moments in her life, especially with her children, which is so important, right? And she's able to bounce back from the negative moments and curveballs that life throws a lot more quickly, having so much more resilience. My coaching program helps moms in male-dominated fields who are suffering from burnout and exhaustion to enjoy the life that they've worked so hard to build, using my proven strategies to heal the underlying causes. To get started on enjoying your life, check out my free masterclass on 4 proven methods to love your life, link in the show notes. Today, I want to talk about how many of us feel lonely. Loneliness is a big problem out there, even for people who seem to have this great life, or they're smiling all the time. They seem super social, but in their minds, they feel isolated and alone. So many of us have been taught to strive for excellence. Now, don't get me wrong, this is fabulous, but it can also be a problem. Although this principle helps us to achieve at work and in our personal lives, we check off all the boxes, right? But then we grow up or approach midlife and wonder, why are we so exhausted and unhappy? Often, this need for the good life or picture perfection can make things really isolating. When you're going through something that reveals a lack of perfection or shatters that picture perfect Instagram family photo, the curated one, the one that goes on the holiday cards that get sent out every season, when things go terribly wrong, you might retreat and feel alone. Some clients go through problems and they feel completely alone, but they are not, and I always tell them that. We are all struggling with a variation of the same problems because we're all human, and most of us, the clients at least, have similar circumstances, even if we're under the delusion that we're the only ones. Remember, although we are our own greatest ally and should learn to act accordingly, there are also people like friends and family who will love and support us unconditionally. Whether or not we can afford that multi-million-dollar house, whether or not we have a perfect life. I'm going to talk about how to combat loneliness. Here are some tips, so make sure to pay attention or write them down later if you're driving. Realize that you're not alone. You have yourself. So get comfortable with that and get comfortable with yourself. Some examples of being alone might be sitting quietly, all alone in your room, going on a trip by yourself, taking yourself out to dinner alone, reading alone, dancing alone. I love this one. I definitely dance when I'm happy, when I'm not happy. It is so much fun and doing it alone. No one's watching me, so I can look as silly as I want. You can also take a class by yourself and really make an effort to love and cherish your own company because you've been there with yourself since the beginning. You've seen yourself through all the good and bad, and you've had your own back, or at least you're trying to have your own back no matter what. When you have a problem and you feel alone or you're feeling isolated with your negative emotion, take some time to sit with it and be by yourself. Let's say you're crying or grieving. Put your hand on your chest, be present with what's ever going on. You're able to tell yourself that you have your own back. And really, this is having your own back, being with your negative emotions, being present, and not running away from yourself. Begin to make a habit of doing this. This will combat your loneliness. Know that people generally want to help. You just have to ask. If you're feeling lonely about something or isolated, reach out to someone your gut tells you that you can trust and open up to them. You will be surprised to see just how supportive good friends can be, especially the ones you've known for a long time. In my experience, I've even seen newer friends be a lovely support system. Another option is to join support groups with people with similar issues. For those in homes with abuse, for example, make sure you are mentally and physically safe. You can get into domestic violence support groups. Or if you're dealing with alcoholism of a loved one, there is always Al Anon. And with the pandemic, there are a million remote options. This will build your sense of community and make you realize you are not alone in your problems. There are also so many physician Facebook groups. I personally have found a sense of community, tribe, and connection in those. Deepen the friendships that you already have. Nurture them. Take time to call and text your friends, maybe send them a note to tell them that you care, or whatever else would help build that connection. In addition to taking yourself out alone regularly, make regular connections with family and friends and make plans. Decrease social media consumption. I know this is a tough pill to swallow, and I am always working on this myself, especially because I post on social media for my business. However, I promise myself not to scroll late at night, so that's what I do. I don't do it because it's a waste of time and energy. So I suggest the same for you. Also, set aside time for social media consumption or put limits on your phone for using the apps. Or if you really don't need social media, log in from a computer and delete the apps on your phone altogether. If you find yourself trying to fill your void with any modes of buffering like food, drink, anything else, approach yourself with kindness and curiosity. Why do you need to fill this void? What is the void? And practice being at peace with yourself alone. Then that starts eliminating the void or making it smaller. Practice mindfulness and meditation. This really helps us to be better at life. So the whole point of meditating is to be able to apply it to your life. And I talk about this in my mindfulness episode. But basically, these practices help to give distance from thoughts and feelings. And that in turn helps to empower us. Once you learn to feel at home with yourself, you will seek external approval and completion much less. What I mean by completion, a lot of us were raised to believe that we need a romantic partner to complete us. And let me tell you, we don't. It is beautiful to have a healthy partnership. However, you would be fine without it. We don't need it. If you are a single parent, remember, and single parent, actually, I mean either separated from your spouse, divorced, or also if your spouse is away a lot, or maybe you're the main parent and you feel like a single parent. That's sort of my definition of single parent. Remember to truly work on yourself before inviting a partner in. That's if you don't already have one. You will come from a much better, less graspy place. You won't be trying to fill a lonely void because your life will be complete with just you and your children. Try my above tips. Really practice and work on being at peace with being alone, because you truly have been with yourself through thick and thin. You're learning to have your back. You're your own best friend. You've been there since the beginning, and what honestly would your life be like without you? I encourage you to try these tips to be at peace with yourself and reduce your sense of loneliness. If you like it, get in touch with me. Check out my website, stresscleansemd.com, and let me know how it goes. My coaching program helps moms in male-dominated fields who are suffering from burnout and exhaustion to truly enjoy the life that they've worked so hard to build, using my proven methodology to heal the underlying causes. To get started enjoying your life, check out my free masterclass on 4 methods to love your life, link in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Empowering Working Moms podcast, Real Talk with Dr. Priyanka Nayak. If you are ready to get unstuck and out of survival mode to live your best life, I want to invite you to book a free 30-minute consultation call with me. To get started, visit priyankanayakmdcoaching.as.me. Link in the show notes.